Hey everyone, welcome to Cubase Academy. This is Gary. I'm going to do a quick video on track versions, and then we're going to go into lanes, and then we're going to go into comps. All really useful techniques. I have a track already done. It's just a piano arpeggio. It sounds like this. Okay, nothing special. Now, you can see in my inspector, I am on the track versions tab, and I have V1. That's this V1. I'm going to click new version, and the waveform disappears from the track, and it's still there. V1 is still there, and now we have V2, which is blank. And we can rename V1 to piano. Okay, and then V2, I'm going to play synth, so we'll just call it synth 1. I'm just going to play some basic stuff on a synth. Obviously, you wouldn't track a synth over a piano track, but this is an example only. This would be good if I was doing multiple vocal takes, say, for example. Anyway, here we go. Okay, sorry about my noisy chair. So now I've got another track. Okay, but I still have the piano track. So if I was multi-tracking vocals, I would still have both versions of the vocal. Now, I'm going to do one more. So I'll do new version. And you can also rename them here, by the way. So they'll call this one Synth 2. And let's get it set up for recording. Well, that was terrible. I'd probably retake that one. However, I'm going to leave it just in the interest of time. So now I've got 3 takes, and I still can switch between all of them. Yeah, well, I can't hear it with this on, can you? There we go. Okay, so versions. So I could just pick the version I want to be in the song, or if I've got good parts of one take and good parts of another take, then I want to do something called comping. So how do we do comping? Well, the easiest thing to do is to take your tracks with multiple keys here, with multiple versions, go up to project. Okay, not audio, project. Down to track versions. It's all the commands to create new and so on. To switch versions if you want shortcut keys. But what I'm interested in is this. Create lanes from versions. When I click it, I get a new version called lanes from versions. That's the only visible difference you see, but you can also see that I have all the original versions still intact. So what is this lanes from versions? Well, if I open up my lanes, and now I have a show lanes button in my track. If you don't have one in your track, you will have one at the top of your inspector here, show lanes. If you do want it in your track, you can go down to this little cog wheel, move over lane display type into visible controls, and make sure that your controls area width is wide enough, and then that's it. So when I click it, I see 3 lanes, one for each take. I'm going to solo them and play them. Okay, so that's the 3 takes. So down to the next phase, I'm going to select everything in this comp, and I'm going to grab my scissors. Actually, I'm going to use a shortcut key, which is Alt. I'm going to make sure that a grid is turned on, and in this case, I'm just going to chop everything at 1 bar. Now, if I was comping, really, I wouldn't do this. I would do it where it made sense for a vocal or a track. But just for this example, I have chopped everything up into little squares. So now, and these squares are adjustable. Well, I've got snapping on here at 1 bar, but they are adjustable. We can modify these if we need to. But what I really want to show you is up here is the comp tool, the little hand there. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to choose different elements from the tracks to see how they sound. So you can see I've got just this random, but when I play it, so if I was comping a vocal, I would have now selected the best parts, and I go, oh, I don't like that one there, I'm going to select this one. And there's a mistake there, so we'll do this. There. So that's comping. Now, I do still have, let's go back to track versions. I still have all my versions. There's the piano, there's the synth, there's synth 2, and here's my comp track. So I don't lose anything by doing this versions to lanes. All right. Now, that's really the, I wanted to show you versions, I wanted to show you lanes and comping. An added thing you can do here, let me close the lanes. If I was to duplicate this track, I'm going to duplicate all the versions, including the lanes, the comp lanes. I could try a different set of comps and mute this one and just see what I like better in the context of the whole mix, the whole picture. Let me make a couple more. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. I'll make one more. All right. So I'm going to leave this one as lanes. I'm going to make this one piano. I'm going to make this one synth 1 and this one synth 2. So now I have my lanes, piano, synth 1, synth 2. So I actually now have separate tracks, not just takes, if I wanted to do that. So yep, so I have all the tracks there. Now, one last thing, each track still has every take on it, every version on it. You might not want that. And so I am going to show you how to clean that up. You go back to project, back to track version, and there's 2 choices here. Delete the inactive versions of the selected tracks or delete the inactive versions of all tracks. I'm going to do all tracks. It says 12 inactive versions on 4 tracks. So now you can see that this is just lanes from versions. They're still there. The comp is still there. I can still change it. We have this one, which I think is the piano, and we could call it such. And this one is the synth, and this one is synth 2. So we went from multiple versions to lanes to comping, back to multiple tracks, and then deleted the extra versions. I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.